I recently returned from a second survey trip into Romania. God used the trip to confirm the 5 major ways that we believe He would have us to minister through the church, reaching out to the neglected and abandoned youth. Those 5 ways are ministry into the existing orphan care facilities, having a ministry center for at-risk youth, encouraging the believers in the church to consider fostering and adopting, having a possible crisis pregnancy ministry, and mentoring apartments for youth coming out of the institutions and transitioning into normal adult life. The trip did not change any of these components, but it helped us to understand how great the need for prayer is in each of these aspects. Each of these things is going to take way more than we had anticipated previously, and we're really going to need the Lord to do it. During the first week that we were there in Romania, we had the privilege of participating in Berea's VBS program. It was a joy to see the members at Berea reaching out to the young people, ministering to them. As I looked at the young people and saw them being ministered to, I wondered which one of them might the Lord get a hold of, who might be just transformed and serve the Lord with their whole heart. After ministering with Berea, we also had the opportunity to visit a number of institutions and ministries that were working with the neglected, abandoned, and at-risk youth. One of those was a crisis pregnancy center. At the center, we learned that with a population of 22 million, Romania aborts 1 million children annually. That leaves about 3 out of every 4 pregnancies being terminated in abortion. The Crisis Pregnancy Center, during its 11-year history, has counseled about 7,000 abortive-minded mothers, and of those has only been able to persuade about 350 not to go through with the abortion. Again, as I said, this is just revealing the need that we really have of God working and the need we have to be praying. We also visited a day center in a village nearby Lugoj. This is a public day center that has as their primary goal reaching out to the young people, encouraging them to stay in school up to and even through high school, which is uncommon in the Roma population. This village is made up primarily of ethnically Roma individuals. The day center has about 3 teachers for about 60 kids, and so they're very much open to help. The Howertons have already been helping with them, and through our visit, the day center has expressed their openness to even a more expanded ministry in that institution. In addition to that day center, we went to a day center for street children in Timișoara. I'd actually been at that day center previously, and I was surprised to see that many of the same kids that were there 2 years ago were still there. And that just reinforced to me the desire and the need to be ministering to those young people even before they get into that state, and working to stop the kids from going out on the street in the first place. We also visited a private orphanage in Joara, which is a village near Lugoj. Laurel and I had been there previously for a little less than a week, and been with the kids the whole time and got to know a number of them. We're really thankful for the work that the orphanage there is doing, but we just see so much in the kids, the need that they have for a family. So we just, again, ask that the Lord would do something surprising, something unusual, and that He would use the church to do that, and that God would show us how to encourage the believers to be involved in that. We also went to some group homes that were run by Levada Orphan Care. Laurel and I had been there before as well. Just had a good time getting to be reacquainted with some of the young people, but also to learn more about the challenges and needs that are involved in ministering to the young people there. One of the things that Levada does is mentoring apartments, helping kids who are transitioning out of these public institutions going into adult life, training them in life skills. Many of them, they haven't learned things like doing laundry, cooking, cleaning, washing clothes, that sort of thing. And want to help them to do that so that they'd be able to be acclimated to society much faster and without any temptation to go to the street or in jail or different things like that, which happens fairly regularly with kids leaving the public institutions. Also want to help them in training for social skills, but most importantly, helping them to know how to live as Christians. We also had the opportunity to go to a baby hospital. The children that are in these hospitals, the abandoned ones that really don't have any health needs, they're there because there's a law that doesn't let them go into orphanages or group homes. So the law says that they must be fostered or adopted, but there aren't enough people fostering them to take them in, and so they're just left in the baby hospitals for the first 2 years of their lives. And during that time, they don't have the stimulation, and they come out of the hospitals with some severe developmental problems. Also, they have a practice of forced reintegration where they take the kids and take them back into the families that have abandoned them and just forcibly reintegrate them into the families. And in those situations, most of those kids end up back in the hospitals in 2 or 3 weeks, and they're malnourished and they've been abused. And it's a really bad practice that needs to be terminated. The picture on the left there are 2 young girls. The girl on the left is the blonde girl. She's not actually part of the baby hospital. She's a friend of the Howertons, the daughter of a friend of the Howertons, and she's 3 years old. The girl that she's hugging is 6 years old. I think that gives you a picture of some of the developmental problems that come about because of being left in these hospitals and lacking the stimulation. The most difficult part for us, of course, is after holding them and enjoying them and seeing them enjoy being held and interact, putting them back in their cribs and leaving them. It's very difficult. After the first 2 weeks of the time that we had in Romania with the whole group, everybody except for me left, and I stayed with the Howertons and spent a good amount of time looking at different possibilities for housing. And this was the place that really looked to be the most ideal to us, and we're praying that God might provide for this, or else give us the faith to trust Him. It looks really ideal to us, and we hope that God provides for us in this matter. We would ask you to pray that our support would be raised by the end of the year. We're really hoping that. We need strength to continue in this work. We ask that you'd pray that churches and individuals would partner with us. Pray also that God would provide the finances for the housing once we're there in Romania. The house that we were looking at cost €55,000, which is a little bit under $80,000. It's money we don't have, and we're asking the Lord to provide, or else help us to trust Him in what He does have for us. Pray also for our walk with the Lord, that we would stay close to Him, and pray for our little one. We're expecting a newborn in February, a little girl, and we're excited about that. We just ask that that will go smoothly. Obviously, you're already at our website, but just to let you know about a little bit more about the website. If you want to watch our ministry video, you can click on that tab and then watch the video from that page. You can also subscribe to our email by clicking on that link, which will take you to a page like this where you just fill in your email address and then enter that little code, and it'll send you an email, and you respond to that, and then you'll get our email updates. Thank you for praying for us.